Hello and welcome to PepTech Talks. Keep liking and subscribing to the channel to get more new upcoming videos. If you are here, that means you are ready to step into the world of cybersecurity and things get serious from here on. I am serious, but I am not boring when it comes to cybersecurity. Welcome to a new discussion video on SAML, OAuth 2.0, and OpenID, and what a business manager needs to know about them. Authentication protocols are security measures used to verify an identity of a user or device. As a business manager, it is important to understand these protocols in order to protect your company's sensitive information and assets. Authentication protocols typically involve a combination of something the user knows, something the user has, or something the user is. For example, a username and password combination is a common authentication protocol that relies on something the user knows. Other examples include biometric authentication such as fingerprint or facial recognition, or two factor authentication, which requires the user to provide two forms of identification, such as a password and a code sent to their phone. The purpose of these protocols is to ensure that only authorized users are granted access to sensitive information or systems. By implementing strong authentication protocols, businesses can reduce the risk of data breaches and protect themselves from financial losses or legal liability. It is important for business managers to understand the different types of authentication protocols available and to choose the one that is most appropriate for their specific needs. Additionally, managers should ensure that their employees are properly trained on how to use the authentication protocol to prevent unauthorized access to sensitive information. SAML, or Security Assertion Markup Language, is an XML based protocol that enables the exchange of authentication and authorization data between parties, particularly between identity providers and service providers. As a business manager, SAML can provide several benefits to your organization. Single sign on, or SAML can facilitate single sign on for your employees, allowing them to access multiple applications and services with a single set of login credentials. This can streamline the login process and improve productivity. By integrating SAML into your identity and access management, or the IAM solution system, you can manage user identities and access to different applications from a centralized location. This can help you to maintain better control over access to sensitive information and resources. SAML uses digital signatures and other cryptographic mechanisms to ensure the authenticity and integrity of exchange data. This can help to reduce the risk of unauthorized access, data breaches, and other security incidents. By implementing SAML, you can reduce the administrative burden of managing multiple user accounts and passwords for different applications. This can help you to save time and resources while improving security and productivity. Now, your employees will not start writing username and password on a notepad file or a sticky note. Overall, SAML can be a valuable tool for business managers looking to improve security and efficiency of their organization's identity and access management system. By understanding the benefits of SAML, managers can make informed decisions about how to implement this technology to meet their specific business needs. Implementing SAML can be a complex process that involves several steps. A step by step guide for a business manager would look like this. Before implementing SAML, assess your organization's requirements for identity and access management. Identify the applications and services that require SSO and evaluate the potential benefits and risks of implementing SAML. There are several SAML solutions available, both commercial and open source. Choose a solution that fits your organization's needs, taking into account factors such as cost, ease of use, and integration into your existing IAM infrastructure. Set up your identity provider (IDP), which is responsible for authenticating users and providing SAML assertions to service providers. Configure the IDP with the necessary user attributes and policies and establish trust between the IDP and SP. Configure your service provider or SP to trust the SAML assertions provided by the IDP. This involves setting up the SP metadata, which contains information about the SP's endpoint and the IDP's public certificate. Test the SAML integration to ensure that it is working as expected. Verify that users can authenticate using SSO and that they are able to access the appropriate applications and services. Monitor and maintain the infrastructure which is in place. Monitor it to detect any issues or anomalies. Maintain the infrastructure by keeping software and security patches up to date and by periodically reviewing access policies and user attributes. Implementing SAML involves several technical and administrative steps. As a business manager, it is important to work closely with your IT and security teams to ensure that the implementation is secure, efficient, and aligned with your organization's goals and objectives. SAML is an XML based protocol used for authentication and authorization between organizations. SAML enables secure access to online resources and is commonly used in a variety of scenarios and use cases, which we are going to see next. SAML allows users to log into multiple applications using a single set of credentials without having to re enter their username and password for each application. This improves users' experience and reduces the number of multiple passwords. SSO is commonly used in enterprise scenarios where users need to access multiple applications within an organization. Federated identity management. SAML enables organizations to manage user identities and access control policies across multiple systems and applications. This is useful in scenarios where users need to access resources from multiple organizations or domains. Partner and vendor access. SAML enables secure access to resources for partners, vendors, other external entities. This is useful in scenarios where organizations need to share data and resources with external parties while maintaining security and control. Cloud based applications. SAML enables secure access to cloud based applications and services. This allows users to access resources from cloud based applications without compromising security. And the last, mobile and remote access. SAML enables secure access to resources from mobile and remote devices. This allows users to access resources from their smartphone, tablets, and other remote devices without compromising the security. OAuth 2.0 is an open standard protocol that allows users to grant third party applications access to their resources on a server without sharing their credentials. As a business manager, OAuth 2.0 can provide several benefits to your organization. Improved security. It can provide a secure and standardized method for granting access to resources without exposing sensitive credentials, reducing the risk of unauthorized access and data breaches. Streamlined authorization. OAuth 2.0 simplifies the authorization process by allowing the users to grant access to resources with a single click, reducing the need for complex authentication and authorization mechanisms. Increased flexibility. OAuth 2.0 enables your organization to grant granular access to specific resources or APIs, providing greater control over who can access what data and services. OAuth 2.0 can enhance the user experience by allowing users to grant access to third party applications without having to share their login credentials or navigate complex authorization flows. Overall, it is a valuable tool for business managers looking to improve the security and efficiency of their organization's access management systems. By understanding the benefits, managers can make informed decision about how to implement this technology to meet their specific business needs. Implementing OAuth 2.0 can involve several technical and administrative steps. Here is a simple step by step guide for implementing OAuth 2.0 as a business manager. Identifying your use cases. Before implementing OAuth 2.0, identifying the use cases for your application or service is important. Determine what resources or APIs you want to protect and what type of clients can be accessing those resources. Choosing an OAuth provider. Choose an OAuth 2.0 provider that fits your organization's need. There are several options available, including commercial providers and open source solutions. Register your application with the OAuth 2.0 provider, providing information such as application name, redirect URIs, client ID, and secret. This will enable the provider to authenticate and authorize your application. Configure your application to make OAuth 2.0 requests to the provider's authorization server. This involves implementing the authorization code flow or another flow supported by the provider. Integrate the provider's API with your application, allowing it to access protected resources or services. Test the OAuth 2.2 integration to ensure that it is working as expected. Verify that clients can authenticate and authorize with the provider and that they are able to access the appropriate resources or services. Once the OAuth 2.2 integration is in place, monitor it to detect any issues or anomalies. Maintain the infrastructure by keeping software and security patches up to date and by periodically reviewing access policies and user attributes. Use case in OAuth implementation. OAuth 2.2 is a widely used authorization protocol that enables secure access to online resources. It is commonly used in a variety of scenarios, including third party application access, where OAuth 2.2 allows third party applications to access user data without having access to users' credentials. This is useful in scenarios where user wants to grant access to the data to other applications, such as when a user logs into a website using their Google or Facebook account, say for example. Mobile and native application access. OAuth 2.2 enables secure access to resources from mobile and native applications. This allows users to access resources from their smartphone and tablets without compromising security. OAuth 2.2 can be used to authorize access to APIs, allowing developers to build applications that interact with third party systems and services. This enables the creation of powerful integrations between different systems and services. OAuth 2.0 can be used to enable single sign on between multiple applications. This allows users to log into multiple applications using a single set of credentials, improving user experience and reducing the need for multiple passwords. OAuth 2.2 can be used to enable secure access to resources from IoT devices. This allows devices to interact with online services and applications, opening up new opportunities for innovation and automation. OpenID is an open standard protocol that allows users to authenticate with multiple websites and applications using a single set of credentials. As a business manager, OpenID can provide several benefits to your organization. Improved user experience. OpenID simplifies the login process by allowing users to use a single set of credentials to access multiple applications and services, reducing the need for multiple usernames and passwords. Increased security. OpenID uses a standardized authentication mechanism that is more secure than traditional username password authentication. This reduces the risk of unauthorized access and data breaches. Increased flexibility. OpenID enables your organization to use multiple identity providers like IDP, giving users a choice of where to authenticate. This provides greater control over user authentication and reduce the risk of vendor lock-in. OpenID enables users to control the information that they share with applications and services. This provides better data privacy and compliance with data protection regulation. Overall, it can be a valuable tool for business managers looking to improve the security and efficiency of their organization authentication system. By understanding the benefits of this technology, managers can make informed decision about how to implement this technology to meet specific business needs. In terms of implementation, OpenID involves several technical and administrative steps, which we'll be seeing next. Implementing OpenID involves several technical and administrative steps, including choosing an OpenID provider, configuring your applications to accept OpenID authentication, and testing the integration. It is recommended to work closely with your IT and security teams to ensure that the implementation is secure and aligned with your organization's goals and objectives. A small step by step lineup for the business managers can be like this. Identify your use case. Before implementing OpenID, identify the use case for your application or service. Determine what resources or services you want to protect and what type of clients will be accessing those resources. Choose an OpenID provider that fits your organization's need. There are several options available, including commercial providers and open source solutions. Configure your applications to accept OpenID authentication requests from the provider. This involves implementing the OpenID Connect protocol and specifying the provider's authorized endpoint, token endpoint, and public keys. Integrate the provider's API into your application, allowing it to authenticate users and retrieve user attributes. Test the OpenID integration to ensure that it is working as expected. Verify that users can authenticate with the provider and that they are able to access the appropriate resources or services. Once the OpenID integration is in place, monitor it to detect any issues or anomalies. Maintain the infrastructure by keeping software and security patches up to date and by periodically reviewing access policies and user attributes. OpenID is an authentication protocol that allows user to authenticate with online services using a single set of credentials similar to SSO, single sign-on. Some use cases for OpenID might be like this. Simplified user registration. OpenID allows users to register with online services using their existing credential, such as their Google or Facebook account. This simplifies the registration process and eliminates the need for users to create a new username and password for each service. Social login. OpenID enables social login where users can log into online services using their social media account. This is a convenient option for users who don't want to create a separate account for each service. Federated identity management. OpenID enables federated identity management where users can authenticate with multiple online services using a single set of credentials. This simplifies the authentication process for users and improves security by eliminating the need for users to share their credentials with multiple services. OpenID can be used for secure authentication in e commerce scenarios. It enables users to log into e commerce sites using their existing credentials, simplifying the checkout process and reducing the risk of fraud. OpenID can be used for secure authentication when accessing government services online. It enables citizens to authenticate with government services using their existing credentials, such as their government issued ID or passport. Overall, OpenID is a versatile protocol that simplifies the authentication process and improves security by allowing users to authenticate with online services using their existing credentials. So, OpenAuth 2.2, SAML, and OpenID are all protocols that enable secure access to online resources, but they differ in their specific use cases and implementation details. OAuth 2.2 is primarily used for authorization, allowing third party applications to access user data without having access to the user's credentials. It is commonly used in scenarios where users want to grant access to their data to other applications, such as when a user logs in to a website using their Google or Facebook account. SAML, or Security Assertion Markup Language, is used for authentication and single sign on between organizations. It enables users to log into multiple applications using a single set of credentials without having to re enter their username password for each application. SAML is commonly used in enterprise scenarios where users need to access multiple applications within an organization. OpenID is also used for authentication and single sign on, but it is designed for web based scenarios. It allows users to log into multiple websites using a single set of credentials without having to create and manage separate accounts for each website. OpenID is commonly used by consumer facing websites and online services. In terms of implementation, OAuth 2.2 and SAML both involve setting up an identity provider to authenticate users and a service provider to authorized access to resources. OpenID involves setting up an OpenID provider and integrating it with your application. All three protocols involve configuring your application to make requests to the provider or IDP and implementing the application flows for authentication and authorization. Overall, the choice between OAuth 2.0, SAML, and OpenID will depend on the specific need of your organization and the use case for your application. If you liked the video, please click on the like button and leave me a thumbs up. And also, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Thank you.